right. What up, Eagle Talk fam? It's your girl, Rosemary.
See Lewis in the building, and this is going to be a very special episode for
us
because we are with a friend of over 25 years.
Yep.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
That long?
Oh my goodness, over 25 years. So y'all, we are joined by Brim. What up?
She got all the names.
Government. This is my homie D. Brim, also my frat brother. Met him in 1996 on Illinois State University campus, and we've been rocking. What's up, homie?
Rocking and rolling.
All right, Eagle Talk fam, you know what we need you to do. Go ahead and hit that share link. And look, let the folks at YouTube know that you are actually liking this episode. Give us a thumbs up. All right, y'all, back to the episode. So like the fellas just said, y'all met. I just want to point out that I was very much in high school when y'all met.
Oh, wow.
yeah, you were.
Yeah.
But I don't remember when I met you, D. Brim, but I know that Corey told me all about D. Brim, who introduced him to the fraternity. Do you remember when you met Corey?
I definitely remember.
How did that go down?
He was walking across the campus, and at the time I was in recruit mode. You know, we the IOTAs on campus, you know, we had a reputation for just having quality people. You know, we try to run everything. You know, we try to have people on the political side. The president of the student union was IOTA. You know, the president of the football team, and Corey just had flavor. He was kind of a fly dude.
I was just a weed selling. No, I'm just I was just doing my thing. That's what I was doing.
I didn't know that part.
He didn't know it.
But so we connected as friends, and I said, hey, check us out, and he did, and rest is history.
Yeah, you recruited him as frat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about our journey together, a little bit do it scared moment. Me and you guys don't know, but me and Devon started real estate the same year, 2000. He's a broker in Illinois and Texas.
And now in Texas.
You want to tell them a little bit about your journey?
Illinois, Indiana, and Texas.
Listen, you better put some respect on his Indiana. Don't be listed. Put some respect on that.
Yep. Tell them about your journey, about the business.
So started in 2000. I was working for a TransUnion credit bureau initially. Mm-hmm. And it was just a thing where I went to school for marketing, but I was working in a technical field. And I just felt the gravity of it being a mismatch. So I just started exploring like what would be a natural fit for my natural skill set. I've always helped people, whether it was aunties, uncles, friends, family. Everybody always asked me, what should I do about this? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go into a business where I help people make big decisions. One of the biggest decisions someone will ever make is where they're going to live.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into real estate.
So here is a fun fact for y'all. I think I know I've said it on this platform before, but some people just know me as Rosemary the Realtor now. And before that, I was a teacher. But way back in maybe like 2004, I was licensed in Illinois as a real estate agent. It was my baby daddy at the time. It was his idea. And I remember going to your house on Baker. And we talked about it because Brim did you start off at another brokerage, if I recall correctly?
Initially, I started off at Prudential Partners.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Prudential Partners. And then he McDowelled it.
Right.
Because he went from Prudential and created Prestige Partners.
Prestige Partners Realty.
And when I remember, I was like, we had already been acquainted, but Corey took me over to your house because he wanted me to study and take the test, and it was just a no-brainer that I would go to Prestige and you would be my broker, and you were until the market punked me, and I got right on out.
We all got punked.
Yeah, we got punked. But let's talk about that because you, Brim, have seen some different markets, right? So like I remember 2008, right, when the recession hit and us having a conversation, and you were like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm like, good luck, because I'm out. but you did make it, and you've sustained and been successful. So take us back to that, like when the market started to tank, like what did that look like for you?
So, it was a financial crisis going on, 07, 08 when it first hit.
Took me out.
Hey, I mean, it really took everybody out.
Yeah, it did.
So what I realized, real estate was a field that wasn't going away, and somebody had to make it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I figured out a way for us to remain viable. And at the time, you know, we were in the Illinois market, which is different than the market we're in now in Texas.
Right.
But I got into REO or foreclosures. So I sought out relationships with different banks and went from there. So secured a few, you know, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Fannie Mae. And it just grew from there. And by us being in a recession, a down market, well, foreclosures was up. So that helped sustain us and, you know, brought us through.
Well, kudos to your timing, because you had to have some foresight to know that, you know, the market was crashing and people would be losing their property. So who would have the most inventory and keep your business running?
There you go.
The banks that were foreclosing. So
Yeah,
smart move.
I'm with that. I love it because I'm gonna be honest with you. I just, you know, it's interesting just the way things happen because I am in a role where I'm coaching agents as well. And I'm telling them, like, it's like I'm telling them how to approach this market and giving insight. And I'm like, oh, I'm preaching to my 2008 self, right?
Yeah.
And my 2008 self watched the news. I listened to everybody saying the sky was falling. I was not protective of my energy. My mindset wasn't right. And I just believed it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just retreat, right? But you, on the other hand, even though it was happening, what I hear you saying is you pivoted. And you decided, which is easy for me to look at it from this lens now. And it's amazing how you, like, once you decide you're going to look at something from a lens, it really can switch. But you like, look, people going to need somewhere to stay, right? So I need to be able to pivot and make the business viable, and you held on. So I assume that this market that everyone's worried about the shift, right? I'm assuming that you ain't tripping.
Yeah, I'm not, because for one, I know how to sell in a down market. Yeah. And that's going to be a PowerPoint because, especially in Texas, most agents only know how to sell when it's great and rosy. Yep. And it's a skill set, you know, being able to handle all terrains, you know. So.
No, I love that. I
want to ask you a question because you mentioned Texas. Why? How are you here in Texas, Dennis Brim? Just out of curiosity, I just want to know how you here.
What made
I'm
you
glad it happened.
relocate
I tell you that.
to Texas?
Yeah. So I'm mad about how it happened. Really, you all moved to Texas, and I wasn't happy because you know Corey was one of my best friends. You know, we remained tight from the college days you heard about through everything. You know, and
yeah, you were in our wedding.
Yeah, I was in their wedding. They were in my wedding.
But by they, you mean Corey was in your wedding? I wasn't. But it's all good. I love his wife. We have grown close.
Yes.
She wasn't my friend. She wasn't in our wedding because we grew close now.
Right.
So.
You are definitely her friend now.
Yes.
Always been my friend. So I've had to share you with her. You know? But so back to the story. You all moved here, and I wasn't happy about that because, you know, I'm like, one of my best friends is leaving, you know, Chicago.
Yeah.
At the time, he was, you know, flipping houses, and he would come back, you know, check on his properties, and I'd be excited when he come back because I'm like, man, I'm gonna take him out, show him a good time. So he moved back. You know, I want to move back. I didn't get it, you know, and until I came to visit. Yeah. You know, and you all took me around, and I'm like, oh, you know. This is what it's about. Yeah. So, that's why I'm here.
Okay. So tell me, I'm just curious. I mean, I know the answers, but I'm sure the viewers are kind of like, well, if you got a brokerage in Illinois, a brokerage in Indiana,
and a business, you were heavily vested in Chicago. Yeah.
So now you here in Texas, like, what does it look like? How do you maintain that?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult, but the way that I maintain it is, I have good processes in place.
Systems.
So, whenever you have good systems in place, that's what runs a business. You know, if you don't have good systems in place, you're going to pull your hair out trying to, you know, do everything yourself. So systems paramount.
Yeah. Talk to me about the people.
Cool.
Yeah.
As
far as running the systems and helping you manage the.
Yeah. So, you know, got the office manager in Chicago that really helps out tremendously. All my people, I'm continuously tapping in with the agents in Chicago, Indiana market, and it's seamless. By us having systems in place, they can kind of run across all platforms, all areas. So makes it easy.
Good.
And the thing about being a broker, having a brokerage, is like these aren't your employees, right? These are self-employed individuals that you have to teach them. You're there to help and support them, but essentially it's their business, right?
Yeah.
And your model is to support them in their business, but it's a little different than having to be right there.
Yeah. I mean, we have to give them the play.
Yeah.
And give them the resources, but it's going to be up to their individual drive
on what to do.
That's the thing you can't create for.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I learned.
Yeah.
And I asked that question because she recently got her brokers.
Congratulations.
I forgot to tell y'all that, Eagle Talk.
Congratulations.
I'm out here like a broker.
So she's now getting into territories to where when she brings agents on, well, she's not just focused on her and her business anymore, right? So that's why I asked about the people.
Yeah, and I'm figuring out what that looks like for me. So we'll be talking a little more. But I have a question, just in terms of transitioning, right? Because, I think that a lot of times we have people. I think about my mother-in-law who used to say, like, I've always wanted to move to Vegas one day. And Corey and I actually just shot an episode a couple weeks ago that we entitled YOLO. Like, you really what you want to do, you need to start doing now. And I know that in Illinois, you were heavily vested. And because I know when we left, people were so confused. Like, wait, why? Like, y'all got family, y'all got house, y'all got kids. The time didn't necessarily seem right, but we knew we had to make that move. So I want to talk about I know it was a huge decision, what that looked like for you. And now that you're on the other side of when you were in that indecisive place, just like, now that you can see, like you're fast, like if you could have fast forward, now you looking back, like what would you have told yourself who was confused, and what did that process look like?
Yeah, I would have did it sooner, definitely.
Yeah, that's everybody's response.
I definitely would have did it sooner.
Yep.
There's a story, actually is a book that Corey told me about called Thou Shalt Prosper.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got through that, but it was a long book, man.
It's a long book, yeah.
I got through it though. I got through it.
Yeah.
And it's a story about a guy who's a fisherman, and he wanted to, be a fisherman. So he got a guide that took him out on a lake one day. He was teaching him how to fish, and he went fishing, and he got some on the hook, and he started reeling it in, and he could taste his fish sandwich. He was reeling in the fish. He could taste his fish sandwich already. Then the guy, he looked up, and he saw an eagle, actually, eagle talk, but he saw an eagle perched up on the light post, and he told his buddy, he said, "Hey, you lost a fish." The guy said, "What do you mean I lost a fish? I feel it is on the hook." But what the guy knew, the eagle saw the fish too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when he was reeling it in and the fish got close to the water, the eagle dove down, took it off the hook, swam away with the fish.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is, when you got a guide that's been there before you, tell you things that you don't know. You might not know what to look for.
Yeah.
But the guy does, a mentor.
Yeah.
So we're in a space where smart money is making a move.
Yeah.
And they're all, I just found out today that Caterpillar is moving to Dallas. They're changing their headquarters from Illinois, where we're from, to Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so shout out to all our Illinois people that work for Caterpillar. Holla at your girl, Rosemary.
Or your location special. Right. No, but that's a good move and for them, but that's also a good move that I like the analogy of the story that you gave, right? And Johnny always say, follow the money.
Follow the money.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it was.
But I know, I'm always the equalizer when we talk money. And look, don't get me wrong, I appreciate money, the resources and the freedom that it allows. But I know that this move has been bigger than money for you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Much bigger. So
like just and I just want to preface it by saying, like, everybody not gonna like Dallas. Like, it works for our families.
Right.
But even when I go back to Chicago, I can enjoy it, but man, am I grateful that we took a leap just to see what else was out there. And I know that for a lot of, I know for you've said, and we've said too, it's like just making this change. not only has it improved our quality of life, but I know for me, being in new territory has created, I mean, we doing Eagle Talk. I'm full-time. You remember I quit real estate because I wanted to be a teacher, you know, like doing something different has given us the capacity to do scary things. So, other than the money aspect, what has stepping out look like in your life and your family?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed the whole vibration, whole trajectory of not only my life but my kids' life. You know, who they'll marry. Even just being able to, I mean, I ride around town in a golf cart now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Which is gang colors in Chicago.
Right.
Just the freedom of not having to, you know, look over my shoulder and, you know, and not saying all Chicago is like that, because it is not, but the area where I grew up was like that. But just to have the freedom, it's a different pressure that you don't have, you know, on your organism.
I like, go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
I like that you spoke on who your kids would marry, right? Just the type of people that you're around. But I'm going to take it a step further because somebody else follows you here. Mama Brim, talk about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good point, because I reach coming from one end talking about the kids, but it improved my mom, you know, her whole quality of life. She came down here to visit and she looked around and said, man, you know, I think I want to live whatever time I have left here. That was a powerful statement to hear my mom say that.
Yeah. I love that, because, you know, you have, we always do something, right? Like we don't have enough money, or we're making too much money where we are, or we're too old, or we're too single, or we're too vested and married. Like will always be these things if we allow it to convince us not to make that move or make that step. And I mean, I think it's super dope that we all came here and we were still in our 30s. Were you in your 30s? You were 40, 30?
I was 40s.
Okay,
40s.
so
I'm a little older.
But still, we were middle aged. But to see your mom, who, you know, is retired and all that, and just like, you know what, like I can't even get my daddy to come visit, let alone. So that is huge, and that's something that I think about just a lot of times when I think about, you know, what God has gifted you with, and this is why I really push Doing It Scared, because you never know who God is going to bless from your obedience, right? And sometimes, here's the beautiful thing, like you see your mom, like you see the fruits of your labor, you see your mom's life changing, you see your kids' life changing, but you don't know who is on the outside watching your story, and they like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Des Moines. You know, or we may not never know the impact, but that's why I think it's so important to just step out and do the darn thing.
That is so true. And, you know, I'm saying it firsthand.
Yeah.
You know, after we moved, like you said, my mom moved. My second oldest daughter moved, and a lot of her friends have moved, and other friends have moved, and it's just a snowball effect.
Yeah. And everybody's quality of life is improving because someone took the leap first. Yeah.
So thank you all for that.
Being obedient. Look, but I really wanted to bring him on because a lot of our listeners and viewers, they hear and see the Texas Corey and Rosemary. He knows the Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, something else I know the Vegas. I know the Vegas Corey and Rosemary too. So
No, but that's true too. You know what I'm saying? You know all aspects, all sides, and us of you know, and Amber and the family. And I just think it's important that stories get a chance to get out. Yeah. Kind of like you saying, like you don't know who else is watching or who else you putting something on their mind. You know, to make a change in their situation. And it might not even be relocation. Yeah. You know, it may be professional, like, you know, job.
Y'all look, I'm around here with a red wig on today. I'm just saying, like, Doing It Scared looks different for different people.
It does, because, you know, in my situation in 2017, I had just got awarded by Chicago Defender, one of the top 50 businessmen in the Excellence Award. And that's 2017. So I felt like I was on top of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, my house was paid off.
Yeah,
I was good.
Yeah,
you know?
But are you gooder now?
You're right. I went from good to great. I always say that.
Right. You got gooder.
Good.
Have you? If you haven't, it's coming. Have you been named D-Best yet?
I have not.
Okay,
I have not.
it's coming.
You got to submit the paperwork. I've been lazy about all that.
Oh, you don't submit paperwork. They send it. They some people. But I mean, honestly,
because most of my contracts are like new builds.
Yeah, you don't have to. No, that's not. Those? That's D-Best has nothing to do with production. D-Best is a popularity contest. We'll talk about that later. Well, because I talked to somebody the other day who was like, yeah, she was asking me on my team, and we talked about production. She was like, but I'm gonna be D-Best. I'm like, oh, it's not production.
Okay,
that's the top producer, but none of the less. I just say that to say, to your point, sometimes we can get caught up. Like the most random thing will hold us in a place, right? Yeah. And God knows we got ego, right? I remember. When it was time for me to step out and be, do real estate solo, I was used to being a leader on the team that I was on. And, they applauded me and there were accolades. And I almost didn't step out and do this on my own because of, that thing right there.
That feels good.
And now it's like, man,
you just leave
the comfort zone sometimes.
Exactly. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's a scary decision.
Yeah.
But that's what Eagles do.
It's coming. So let me ask this. What's next for D-Brim? Are you dreaming? What are you dreaming about?
I'm actually dreaming about my wife being able to step away from her career and do whatever she wants to do. So
I bet you could do that tomorrow if you really wanted to.
Well, could definitely do that tomorrow.
Well, she told me the other day that's going to be our next move.
Okay.
She put in her 2-week she put in 2-week notice, but she said she'll give them more time if they request it. They requested more time, so she'll be there a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
So
that's a big move.
So yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Eagle Talk.
Eagle Talk. Look, shout out Amber.
Congratulations. That's
huge.
That's a lot of. That's commendable to you, first of all.
That's what I was about to say. That your dream is seeing someone else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That you love like that. I think that's huge.
And that she has the faith that in you and your business and your systems. Yeah. That lifestyle won't change. Or just probably get better.
Yeah. Yeah. Less stress.
Yeah. That's
I
amazing.
love that. I love that.
It truly is doing it scared though.
Yeah. Oh, you telling?
Yeah, that's doing it scared.
One day I remember when I was full force in the business and it hit me like I hadn't even closed the deal yet, and I was like, oh my God, we both have commission-based jobs. Wow. I felt like but boy, I mean, I've said it here before. With doing it scared, it presented itself in such a beautiful way when my mom was dying, because I did not have to, I didn't have to ask permission for anybody to take time off. I didn't, I thought about what going hard in real estate allowed me to do for her when she was here. So literally being at her bedside, I wasn't at her bedside like, I always wanted to take you. Right. And we did everything I wanted to do.
Y'all flew the whole family down. Yeah. I remember that.
And that's what doing it scared does, is that, you might get some cool recognition and, some fun purses and vacations, but, to be in those critical moments and be like, yep, we did that. Mm-hmm. And although I'm sad, I get to know that there are no regrets, like your mama, right. Think of all the time that you and her get to have now because she's here.
Right.
Y'all both stepped out on faith. And one day I was planting a sign and he was on his way to see his mom.
Right. On the same block.
On the same block. Yeah. Rosemary sign.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, what's next for the brokerage?
What's next for the brokerage? So we're just going to continue to grow.
Okay.
Continue to grow. We're always going to stay boutique, probably no more than 20, realtors, brokers per area.
So are you hiring? Like if someone is in either one of those areas and would like to talk to see if you're a good fit for them, how do they reach out and connect with you?
Well, I make myself very easy to find. You can Google me, Brim. My number is 955 Brim. Area code 708.
He had that number for 20
years. I'm not changing it. I do have a Dallas number as well.
Because people don't answer the phone if it don't say 469.
Right. So and it is a 469 area code too.
Yeah.
And my favorite number, 777.
Okay. Yay. I love
9509. So
that's good. Well, we thank you, brother, for being on Eagle Talk.
Absolutely.
And thank you all for inviting me.
I feel like Brim gonna have to be at Eagle Talk Live on a panel or something when we.
I'm actually shy, so I don't know about all that. We'll see.
I get them to do it, y'all. Don't worry about it. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for, just a lifetime of friendship. Continue to live and grow. This was actually Rosemary's idea. I should have thought about having you on here. Full disclosure. But she was like, "How about Brim?" I was like, "Brim kind of shy." And then she was like, "Yeah." And then when I called, you said, "Yeah." So that was cool.
We just
so everybody, people get to hear our story.
Right.
But thank y'all for tuning in. One of my really good friends, Dennis Brim, is here in the Lone Star State with us, and we're definitely glad that you're with us.